thingy.
As you got a good preview there, my co-commentator Byron Derksen talking about the championship chances of Paul Riccobene.
They're extremely good.
To go over them really quickly, Paul just has to beat Simion Nacu by any margin that scores at least 1 point, which he's guaranteed to do because there's not enough cars here for someone to not score points. And he will win the Zero Championship this season. Other important developments due to a hardware issue. Josiah Jerome claims he is on a keyboard for this race. So, any thoughts as to how many walls and so on that he can hit in this one, Mr. Travis Wallace, Mr. Byron Derksen?
I'm going to set the over-under at 2.5.
Oh, over. I'll take the over. Travis?
Yeah, based on the way the car looked at the end of the practice session, I would definitely go with the over.
I have faith in his sheer professionalism.
As always, I have Travis and Byron with me on commentary. I also have a new mic, so apologies if any of the volume levels
homeboy would
are
like
not...
to apologize if he sounds way too sexy.
I mean, there is that. I mean, if I convince your girlfriend through the course of this commentary to leave you, that's totally my bad.
You are now racing with the Light FM.
We have 13 cars on the field today, and notably Eric Friesen down there at the back. Not sure what's up with him at the moment, but it's Caleb Gonzalez leading the way from his Mercedes teammate brandmate Mike Stockmill. Looks like I forgot to turn the manufacturing logos on in the standings, and I give Martin hell for that all the time. So I apologize, Martin. You may return some of that hell my way. Paul Riccobene, Joe Racer, Gerardo Delvea, Simion Nacu, Ariel Zatoni, Richard Higgs, Mike Magas, Wayne Hutchinson, Rick Martel, Josiah Jerome, and Eric Friesen rounding off the field right now. Before you in the Clearwater Racing McLaren 650S, Joe Racer.
Incorrect.
That is absolutely correct.
You're obviously having hallucinations.
I am not.
Because that's Gerardo Delvea.
Yeah, he just popped up on screen now.
You crazy bastard. I would like to commend the general racing community worldwide for being so inclusive. Apparently, they named this track after a transgender person a long time ago. Scrotum Erica, is it?
Road America.
Oh, my bad. I heard that wrong. I mean, I thought we were all being progressive, trying to be, positive, forward-thinking, and apparently not.
I mean, this track is in the Midwest, so that's very unlikely.
True.
But it does have...
I bet you everybody in the Midwest knows all of the lyrics to the Kinks song, Lola.
Quite possible.
It's a great song, though.
It is. Really. Have you heard... obviously, you've heard the Weird Al parody version.
Yes.
It's also fantastic.
And of course,
swamp down to Dagobah. Sorry, what? Go on.
I was gonna say, and of course the big news this week: Assetto Corsa Competizione out in full version. Travis has played it. I've played it. There are some things that I would like to see changed, but overall, it's pretty damn solid.
I keep referring to it as Equitsuorcha Crumple Zone. Because your boy Ace Ventura also Crumple Zone. It's fucking funny.
It's true. It's true.
Hey, Simion, what the fuck?
It looks like Simion may have abandoned that lap. Michael Magas on track in the Audi, currently with a personal best in Sector 1, by the looks of it. He is approaching the end of Sector 2 here through the carousel and then up through... I apologize, I don't know the name of the upcoming corner. But I do know the one after it is Canada Corner, which, Canadian power.
Also would like to commend Michael Magas for going back to his non-double hyphenated triple entendre name.
Thank you.
And that corner's just kink.
Just the kink?
Yep, the kink.
Bit lame.
Hello, Lola. Sorry, what?
That's going to be stuck in my head forever now.
Hell yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Hell yeah, brother.
Now, little spoiler here, I am going to improve my grid position here as I come across the line. So the grid before you is not accurate, but it is mostly accurate. Caleb Gonzalez will start on pole from Mike Stockmill, Paul Riccobene, Joe Racer, Gerardo Delvea, Simion Nacu, myself, there you go, Ariel Zatoni, Then Richard Higgs, Wayne Hutchinson, Rick Martel, Eric Friesen. Bad qualifying for Eric Friesen. Any theories, Travis?
Drugs.
I'm not sure. That is surprising, though. He is normally not on the back row. Not even close to the back row.
Indeed, and he's just barely ahead of the keyboard using Academy Driver.
Mike and I were joking a little bit earlier. I think we need to find a game where Ariel Zatoni can drive the Ariel Atom.
There is one. I can't remember if it's perhaps Travis knows the answer. Project Cars or iRacing? Which one has the Ariel Atom?
Well, it is not iRacing.
Okay, Project Cars is the answer then. So Project Cars has an Ariel Atom. I remember specifically there is a game that has it. Maybe it's the original Assetto Corsa. I don't know. There is a game where Ariel Zatoni could drive the Ariel Atom, though.
Unless
is my
mod. I think the little track thing in the original Assetto was the crossbow. I don't think it had an atom.
I know
Forza
I saw
has
an
an
Atom in one
too.
game. I don't play Forza. I don't play Project Cars either, but I used to play Project Cars.
But are you real cheese people?
I am very much a real cheese person.
Can confirm he is really cheesy.
Cheddar cheese, feta cheese, mozzarella cheese in comedy, cheese in everything. My pickup lines are the cheesiest thing you've ever heard.
Go on.
No. We've already established that I'm stealing the women with my voice already. I don't need to add my cheesy appeal.
We need to get Travis. We need to get you a nice, high-quality microphone so you can join in with racing with the Light FM.
Yeah, I do need a mic. More than just a headset mic. A fancy
Correct.
mic.
I will still be using the headset mic for racing purposes.
Disgusting.
There's nowhere really to put the other mic on my racing rig. Like
that's quitter talk.
That's anywhere near my mouth.
It doesn't need to be anywhere near your mouth. It's vastly superior.
It needs to be somewhere in the relative area of my voice.
Just bolt it to the side of your gosh darn seat, the headrest. Bolt it straight on there.
Actually, that might work.
Yeah.
All right, the grid is forming up with the Mercedes is leading from the front and one of the McLarens at the back. That is Edward Gonzalez, who did not post a lap time, who is starting at the back there. I was trying to remember.
Go, Speedy, go!
Yeah,
Joke's on you, Speedy gonna torpedo the entire grid.
That could be his plan. We'll find out. All right, here we go. 14 cars on the grid of Road America, one of the longest laps of the season, and we have red lights. And we are go. That's a really bad start by both Speedy and Josiah Jerome, and a pretty good one from Eric Friesen.
Mike Magas is currently grinding the shit out of... Oh, that's not you.
No, that's Paul Riccobene grinding the shit out of the pit wall. Wonder what is up with that. It's not good for him. He's dropped from third to last. I'm going to suggest a significant issue for championship elect Paul Riccobene in this one, and that's going to keep it's going to take the championship down to the wire if he can't recover from that, because he's still dropping back, and spoiler alert, his wheel was not working. That is why he completely failed. His pedals were working, but his wheel was not.
But Paul will strive to achieve, and that is why he is Paul the Rickroll Riccobene.
Mike Stockmill tried to go down the inside of Caleb Gonzalez there, but I mean, he might have been too close to the edge. He might have had to brake, and he was dropped down to fourth place.
Get out!
That's a rare mistake.
Fired.
I have Lincoln Park jokes for the entire race.
I'm not going to get any other one other than that.
Oh, you'll get the in the end ones, I would imagine.
Oh, baby.
And the crawling ones. You know crawl.
Oh, it's really annoying, yeah. I only know, like, the 3 words, because it's brutally annoying.
Are they crawling in my skin?
Oh, I guess it's 4. Never mind. My math's bad.
Anyway, so we have Gonzalez. We have Gonzalez leading for Del Valle from Nacu. Stockmill on the tail of Nacu. Then it's Joe Racer, Richard Higgs, Mike Magas, Ariel Zatoni, Rick Martel. Eric Friesen's picked his way up to 10th place, so good start from him. Josiah Jerome, Edward Gonzalez, Wayne Hutchinson, and the man out of the race, Paul Riccobene. By the way, Paul also took out Wayne Hutchinson. That's why Wayne's at the back. We're gonna let him get away with that on virtue of the hardware failure.
Mike Stoffmill currently racing for Le Falcon Noir.
Black Falcon Racing, which you can race as in ACC.
We got no bonks.
No bonks. Yeah, Bonk's not really active in the sports car community.
Bonk bonk.
Mike Stoffmill going up the inside. Did he get through? Ariel Zatoni looking to make a move on Mike Magas for 7th position. Hasn't gotten through yet. In the background there, it is Rick Bartel versus Eric Friesen with Josiah Jerome, Edward Gonzalez, and Wayne Hutchinson all kind of piled up behind them. So good battle going on there. Good battle going on here as well. And it looks like Stoffmill did get around Simion Nacu off our screen and is up into 3rd position. Nacu slips back to 4th with Joe Racer rounding off the top 5. Ariel Zatoni in the background making a move on Mike Magas. It was not caught on screen, but unfortunately, while he did get past Mike Magas, he didn't account for the fact that there was a car in front of Mike Magas and smacked into Richard Higgs.
Very nice.
Those on the Discord may have seen Richard Higgs have a slight foot-a-cow moment after this race, and that was why.
Pichuvash.
That has ended the race of Higgs, and we're down to 12 cars. Also, Rick Martel went off there, and I believe that is where his race effectively will come to an end. I think he tried to crawl around for a bit, but he had significantly damaged the car, and that has brought us down to 11 cars already, so high fatality rate here. Mike Stoffmill looking to make the move into 2nd place here into Canada Corner on Gerardo Del Vea, and gets the job done. You could say that might be a catalyst for a victory for Mike Stoffmill.
No, never. Maybe. Possibly.
Yes.
I choose to believe that perhaps he's just been toying with the field the entire time.
Also, a big thank you to Mike Stoffmill, who named a driver after me and a driver after Byron in his team.
Indeed.
In his team on Assetto Corsa competition in his career mode.
And I got to name the team.
He did get to name the team. What did you name
That's
the team
awesome.
again? Would you like to unveil the
Team
names?
Thundernuts.
Team Thundernuts, yes.
Nuts.
Just put me on the spot. He's like, okay, Byron, come up with a name. I'm like, Thundernuts. There you go.
I like it.
If you can't win with that, I can't help you.
Well, in fairness, if the drivers are anything like you or me, the car won't survive any of the race.
Well, no, but neither will anyone else, just Mike.
That's true. We are weapons of mass destruction. I don't remember what car he picked, actually.
Tractor beam engaged.
I think he got offers from the Aston Martin, the Ryder, and I don't remember what else.
I don't know.
I imagine the
I was busy renaming Cruise in World of Tanks. I don't remember.
The Lamborghini Super Torpedo, as I call it, probably was one of them, but I don't know which one he picked.
I guess maybe it gives you the same options. I would assume that in the preseason testing field that he did better than I did.
What did you do? Because I know what he did.
I got the same. I got first in the first round, and the remaining 3 rounds I got last.
What was your overall rating?
Silver.
Oh, you got the same rating. So.
Oh,
There you go.
wow. All right.
This Sunday, the ACC season starts for ESR. We'll be at Monza for the qualification/testing race. The deal will be is the results of that will, I believe, I may be talking out of my ass here because I've not paid enough attention. Oh,
Somebody parked.
Somebody parked in the pit lane. It looks like it's Josiah Jerome in the pit lane for possibly some repairs. Or possibly parking it for the race. I don't honestly remember
Is he in the pit
which.
lane or did he just spin?
It looked like he was in the pit lane. Let's see here.
I think he just spun off on
Might have
one of the
just
little
might have
side
just
tracks.
might have just spun because he's largely keeping up with Edward Gonzalez at the moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here today to observe the funeral rites for Josiah Jerome and his strange death.
Indeed.
He is real cheese people.
Caleb Gonzalez leading still from Stop Mill Delvea Nacu, who is the man we ride with at the moment. Joe Racer, Mike Magas, Eric Friesen. Friesen's come through nicely. He's up from P12 to 7th. So good race for him so far. Wayne Hutchinson, Ariel Zatoni, and Edward Gonzalez rounding off the top 10 with Josiah Jerome also still running. We are down to 11 cars, having lost Rick Martell to damage to the car. Richard Higgs, unfortunate collision with Ariel Zatoni, putting him out of the race. And Paul Riccobene with some hardware-related issues where the car would not turn.
Listen, Ariel, your boy Richard is not from Chile. You need to calm down.
His name's not Ricardo.
It's not Ricardo. Just tranquilo. Un momento, por favor.
Indeed.
I don't know. Do they speak Portuguese or Spanish there? I'm assuming Spanish.
They speak Spanish there. Brazil is the only country in South America.
Is it? Okay.
Portuguese.
Yeah, but they're the fattest.
They are the largest. Yes, by any measure, they are the largest.
Extra thick.
They
and
do
a lot of crime. Oh, so many crimes.
The entire continent has a lot of crime, if we're being honest.
That's true. I saw a map. I don't know if it's accurate or not. I think it gave a specific year. There was like something like 60,000 murders in Brazil, and then they're like, okay, here's Brazil. Here's 60,000 murders in the rest of the world. And it was like Canada, U.S., the entirety of Russia, the entirety of Europe, part of Eurasia. Like, damn.
Yeah, I mean, there is the old joke that in Brazil you get a 401k for kidnapping, so, you know.
Neat. Can I go?
Ariel Zatoni looking down the inside of Wayne Hutchinson here. A little bit Mercedes on Mercedes crime for 8th place, and Ariel has got the job done. Good overtake.
Hell yeah.
And he relegates Mr. Wayne Hutchinson down a spot in the order.
Get him, Wayne. Fire the tractor beam.
Indeed. Deploy the tractor beam. Engage the slipstream.
Shake and bake. I need to rewatch Talladega Nights.
It's always.
Or maybe that's just Travis's.
Always a good idea.
Rewatch Talladega Nights.
Travis, would you like to confirm?
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's just a tractor beam hotness.
Pretty redneck.
You gotta learn to drive with the fear. We should do that one. Mike, you should just show up at my house. We'll watch like Rush, Days of Thunder, Talladega Nights. Any other good racing movies out there?
I mean, I enjoy the action scenes from Driven, but the acting and the actual story are pretty shit.
So Gone in 60 Seconds it is.
Gone in 60 Seconds, that's a good one.
Yeah, that scene where they pop all the manhole covers off and blow that lady's dress up. That's pretty hot.
Mm-hmm. That is true.
Don't know about the rest of it.
I mean, like I said, it's worth watching for the action scenes. It's got probably the best racing action scenes of any movie. But it does have significant issues where, like, I just don't think anyone really particularly gives a great performance.
Besides the Pantera sequel, Far Beyond Driven is much better.
Edward Gonzalez trying to get up onto Josiah Jerome here. Audi versus McLaren battle. These two cars are not particularly strong here at Road America. Correct me if I'm wrong, Travis. You would say probably the Mercedes is the track advantage on this particular outing?
Yeah, definitely. Although, I love the McLaren so much. It's amazing everywhere.
So, are you going to sign up for the ACC series in a McLaren?
I've driven it once, and the McLaren, and oh my God, what has happened?
All the things.
Mike Magas went off the track.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
What a loser!
And slipped from 6th place back to 9th.
Also, your boy Eric Friesen has gone from dead-ass last to pretty much first.
He's doing a great job. He's putting together a very solid race. Edward Gonzalez still on the attack against Josiah Jerome, unable to find a way around him. These two have kind of dropped off of everybody else and are kind of having their own private fight here for 10th place. Not terribly surprising, as Edward Gonzalez was a very late addition to this grid. He kind of just came on the day of. He's like, "Oh, we got a race today. Can I enter as a wild card?" And we went, "Yeah, sure." And that's why
He
he's
just
here.
wandered in on a 3-day binge and decided to drive. That's my boy.
Mm-hmm. And of course, we talked obviously about Josiah's handicap of equipment, racing on a keyboard. Ariel Zatoni is
seems to be doing all right with the keyboard.
yeah, well, he's a very fast guy.
Yeah.
Ariel's
Shot, he's a little twitchy, but overall, he's not doing bad. He hasn't hit a wall yet.
Yeah, hasn't hit anything yet, and I mean, Ariel Zatoni's come closer to hitting stuff with a very aggressive line through the kink there a couple of turns ago, and the carousel. But he is going very fast and putting the pressure on the Iron Force Porsche of Eric Friesen, which, true to Eric Friesen form, always a very colorful car.
Making a nice run through the field.
Mm-hmm.
Sixth. Not bad.
And, well, Ariel's trying to get around him now, but I don't know if you can get around the outside at this first turn here. Maybe.
He's probably gonna, I was gonna say, he's probably gonna have him cleared.
Yeah, he's got more.
That
Merc's grunt is amazing. Which, by the way,
Yeah.
ACC, I think you kind of fucked up the Merc, because it doesn't seem to have the kind of grunt you would expect.
It doesn't. That's the car that I picked in my first round of my career. And yeah, not as oomphy as
Which
it is in iRacing and
Which
Prairie
of
Rim.
the 3 cars that are not in the game yet are you most looking forward to?
The Reliant Robin.
God, I don't know. I mean, I hadn't even driven everything that's in the game now. Like I still hadn't driven the Audi or the NSX. I haven't.
You
driven
can skip the NSX.
release.
It is terrible.
The Morris Minor.
Good
Yes.
battle here as Friesen's coming back at Ariel Zatoni. Sorry for straying into too much ACC talk, but there's good action
Point
going
out
on
that
here.
Eric Friesen is racing for the most convoluted racing name I've ever seen.
Iron Force by Ring Police, yeah.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Although Team Zack Speed BAK was that BXK BKK
BKK Mobile Oil Rig.
Mobile Oil Race, yeah, fuck yeah. It's like 7 different companies came together and threw in $3 each.
Hey, you gotta get the money where you can.
And then, of
We'll
course,
give you $1.50. Just put
and
a
of
sticker
course,
on your car.
the comparatively very simple name, BWT Mucka Racing, or Mucka Motorsports.
You know, that lap does a good job of showing the difference in those 2 cars. Mercedes just Porsche alive on the straights, but they hit the corners, and Friesen came right back.
Indeed. And, well, keep in mind, Friesen struggled in qualifying, so I wonder what his pace is. If we get a shot of him, I'd be interested to see what his fastest lap is. Whether it's a little bit more on the pace, because we know Ariel's got pace. 2:05.6 is a pretty respectable lap time under relatively heavy fuel. We're approaching the halfway point of the race at this point.
I like the feint to the inside there.
Ariel is quite fond of the feint.
They work, man. They work.
They do. No,
Step
Ariel's
out there and get in that mirror.
Ariel is an excellent overtaker, although admittedly his overtakes took out Richard Higgs in this race, but still a very solid, well-rounded driver who applies a lot of very effective aggression. And Wayne Hutchinson kind of in the background there, just maybe hoping for a little bit of light contact between these two.
You can encourage that. We're in favor of encouraging that.
And the Yakko Racing Audi of Mike Magas in the background in 9th place after his off that took him down from 6th level.
I think if you're going to stay on the Yakko racing team, you have to be able to do the Animaniacs country song from front to back.
Oh, I really should work on that. My roommates are actually...
Peru, I don't know what all the fucking thing. I used to be able to do at least half of it.
All I'd really have to do is sit in on my roommates watching Animaniacs. They love that show.
Yeah. Animaniacs. And the zany to the max.
Ariel trying to find his way around, and Wayne Hutchinson catching up. By the way, it should be mentioned, Josiah Jerome has actually gone faster than this group this lap on the keyboard. So, closing the gap ever so slightly. Nothing major. Took a couple of tenths out, but doing a good job. And can Ariel get the job done? This is where he got the job done before. Wayne Hutchinson in the background there with a pretty respectable 2:05.74. That's his fastest lap, and indeed Ariel got the job done. And is back into 6th position ahead of Eric Friesen. Hutchinson in 8th. I suppose to finish our earlier topic there, Travis, about the ACC, the three. Do you know what 3 cars are not in the game yet that are coming?
There's the 1972 Datsun pickup.
Yes, that's my next car. It's just newer versions, right?
Correct.
Not actually new cars. Okay.
Well, technically one is a new car, but it's very simple. It's very similar. I would say that the 2019 Aston Martin that's coming to the game is actually fairly different to the 2013, though they do look superficially the same. But the inside engines are actually quite different. That's why that one's the one that I'm most excited about, because that's the one that is most different. Like the upgraded Lamborghini Huracan and the upgraded well, you know what? The Acura NSX that's going to be added to this game, or the Honda NSX, depending on what brand you want to use there, hopefully will greatly improve the existing one, because the existing one is bad.
But what about the Beta Romeo?
That would be cool. The Beta Romeo, I would support that being added by ACC. Do it.
Think about all of the Eagle.
All the Eagle. Mm-hmm. It's got to have an Eagle livery, of course.
It would have a certain equilibrium to it.
Mm-hmm. Its engine would actually be made of eagle beaks?
Correct. No, that's the fenders.
No, it was the dashboard.
Oh, yeah. The glove box has more eagle.
More eagle. There also may be some eagle in the floor.
If you haven't watched Futurama, you ain't shit. So carry on.
You're completely lost right now if you didn't watch Futurama. Also, you got to remember the patented seatbelt there, man.
I forgot about the seatbelt.
The Beta Romeo's patented seatbelt design that lifts and separates.
Oh God, sorry.
You're not that sorry.
It's not sorry in any way.
That was the most sarcastic yawn I've heard since the last time I did one.
Eric Friesen, by the way, to answer our question,
got a great race going on, and we're talking about Futurama.
Listen, there's important things in this racing.
Eric Friesen, by the way, with his fastest lap in this race is faster than what he qualified on at a 2:06.7. So definitely was not representative of his pace to start 12th place. So
that's because he's real cheese people.
That's true. He's finding his way. He doesn't quite seem to have the pace that these two Mercedeses, but they, at the same time, haven't managed to break away from him. So that's good for him. He just has to hang around there and get the job done if he can.
Yeah, I'm sure sitting in the slipstream helps.
I imagine so. The Mercedes slipstream is a powerful thing. And, of course, that will help out a great deal, alleviate the biggest deficiency the Porsche has against the Mercedes, which is, of course, the straight line speed. Although the Porsche itself is not a slouch in the straight line. Also got to wonder if maybe he qualified on a high wing and then went to a low wing for the race, which is advisable. This is a relatively low downforce track.
Possibly.
But Wayne Hutchinson is all... into the wall!
My God.
We may have Caster's cursed.
Probably done. That was a
hard hit. We'll see if Eric Friesen can continue. He's still dropping back. Hasn't pulled out. Oh, he's still running.
No bumper.
He is.
Power of the Sith infuses his spirit.
His bumper is destroyed. Will he go into the pit lane?
Flow through you.
One would think he has to pit. He's got a pretty good cushion back to Josiah Jerome that he could probably get out ahead of him if he pits. We'll see if he does.
It's a low downforce track, but you still need as much air on the front as you can get for these corners. They're pretty high speed.
Yeah, absolutely. He's definitely in the pit lane now. You can see the gap. Josiah Jerome, Edward Gonzalez on your screen, getting closer and closer. These two having a really good fight. Really good to see this. And they are going to overtake Friesen, I think, while he is in the pit lane. Yep, there it goes. So this fight has become for 9th place, depending on what Friesen can do. Wayne Hutchinson and Mike Magas also a little bit wide there from Josiah. But he retains the position.
It's all by strategy. He just told you guys he's racing on a keyboard. He's not really doing it.
I don't know.
He can't drive a straight line.
He's also, like, he's done a 2:08.427 is his fastest lap. Oh, wait, that's Edward's lap. Fastest lap. All right. Come on, swap over to Josiah. We need to see the fastest lap. Like, that would be the thing.
He went out partying, he had a bunch to drink, he came home, he's like, oh guys, sorry, my wheel broke, I'm not going to be able to drive really good.
But he can't legally drink.
Dude. Come on.
How dare you accuse Josiah Jerome of breaking the law? Contact.
Oh.
There's a whole Beatles song about that right
Edward Gonzalez gets into the back of Josiah Jerome. Looks like he's giving the spot back. There we are. Josiah 2:08.472. That's not a typical Josiah spit. Oh, God. Oh. Yeah, he's got no wing.
Underground.
Damn, son.
Oh, God. What are they called? Out of Charlotte. Underground racing? They do the Audi and the Lambo modifications?
I'll take your word for it.
Underground something.
Looks like Eric Friesen, by the way, has departed the race, unfortunately. Rather than continue.
You gotta freeze that.
Looks like also Edward Gonzalez may not be continuing either after his collision with Josiah Jerome's back bumper. Can Josiah creep around to the pit lane is the question. Can he get there?
Didn't Disney do a movie all about him? Friesen?
Frozen, you mean?
Oh, is that what it was? No, my bad.
I mean, maybe he was a director on it, though.
Executive producer.
Caleb Gonzalez, 5.6 seconds ahead of Mike Stoppman. We've not seen them in ages, and that's probably why. They're not particularly close together. Gerardo Del Valle, Simion Nacu, Joe Racer, Ariel Zatoni, all pretty spread out. And then it's this man, Wayne Hutchinson, trying to track down Ariel Zatoni. Mike Magas has fallen off the back of these guys. He had another excursion across the grass, unfortunately, and has fallen back. Josiah Jerome appears to be in the pit lane, I think. Also possible that he's retired. Not sure which. Actually, I don't think he's in the pit lane yet because his gap to Edward is growing. So I think he's still trying to crawl his way around to the pit lane where he can possibly get that thing under his skin removed.
Giggity?
That was a really weak Linkin Park reference.
I thought you were going for like a cancer joke.
I don't make cancer jokes.
I do.
After you've had a tumor removed from your chest, it loses.
Remove the whole chest? Just most of it?
Just part of the lung.
They'll grow back?
They do, but it takes a substantial amount of time.
Jeez, so negative.
It's just not a merry subject for me. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Jeez, they took a fucking ice cream scoop to my liver.
All right, to pick this back up, Mike can send you a picture of one of the underground racing Lamborghinis and how the back of them look.
I'll have a quick look at that. Oh yeah, I got you. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it looks just like Josiah Jerome's car.
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's a cool look, except when it's not intentional.
Exactly.
Wayne Hutchinson trying to catch up to Ariel's. This is really the only battle we got going on right now, unfortunately, is this battle for 6th place. It's a good one.
Hutchinson was a good deal back, about 2 seconds, I think, after having to check up. Friesen.
Yeah, he got slammed into by Paul Riccobene at the start. You can actually see his front end is a little bit mangled, though it doesn't appear to be affecting his performance. They're catching up to someone. Not sure.
Not Joe Racer.
Oh, it's Josiah Jerome.
Oh, yeah.
Josiah, go in the pit. Go in the pits, Josiah. Go in the pits.
He's fine. Leave him alone.
That car is fucked.
I mean, he's not gonna fall any farther back.
Yeah, but just for your own sanity, go in the pit.
That's what I'm saying. Get the car at least a little stable to finish the race.
He's trying to channel his inner Federicos.
He's now been lapped by the entire field. Yeah, but he doesn't have the dark powers of the Sith.
Listen, race isn't much.
He is not. He is not Darth Vanger.
That is true.
Oh my God!
Oh, Ariel!
You heard the
That was what Tony's
tragedy
gonna
of
say the
Josiah
same
the
thing.
Wise.
That was pretty much the same spot Eric Friesen went in the wall, actually. So Hutchinson improves to 6th place. Did Ariel keep it somewhat out of the wall? Doesn't look like he did. He was having a hard time through the corner, though he is actually picking up ground in the straightaway, though that could be the complete lack of aerodynamics on the front end that may exist right now for his car.
That's a solid maybe.
I'm gonna say it looked like he might have kept it out of the wall.
It does look like he kept it out of the wall. Well, we check in with the leader, Caleb Gonzalez, in that sweet, sweet Black Falcon livery car.
It's white.
Yeah, the irony is I don't think the Black Falcons have a black car.
Nor nothing that looks like a Falcon.
There's like how many Black Falcons are there in the game? Seven or eight? Does that sound about right? There's the Lincoln Park one. There's this one. There's the green one that I used to run. There's 2 blue ones. There's a red one. There's no black ones. It's kind of weird.
Could be. But can we agree that Caleb Gonzalez's nickname should be the Peruvian necktie?
I'm down with that. ESR's answer to Tony D'Souza.
Well, I mean, I would say that Caleb's probably more talented, but go on.
I mean, I thought Tony was pretty talented, to be honest. I thought he lacked certain physical attributes that were really going to lead to being
like size and speed and power.
No, he had power.
Oh right, yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot.
He had power. Ask Thiago Alves about that.
Yeah. You leave Thiago Alves alone. He's old and he's crippled. And his brain don't work good.
I mean, Alves won that fight, but D'Souza gave him a hell of a skin.
Poor Alves, missing a soul since your boy George St. Pierre stole it.
Nah, he was useful after that. I would say,
man, but he was just short aside. He was a wrecking machine, and then George St. Pierre's like, "You ain't shit," and then after that, he was serviceable at best.
No. The end of his soul was Martin Kampman.
Well, that's usually the end of everybody's soul.
That was like Alves kicking Kampman's ass for 2 rounds and then getting kind of tired in the 3rd, and Kampman just keep coming. He's like, I can't do anything about it, and then getting guillotined.
Yeah. The Hitman. I miss the Hitman.
Yeah, Martin Kampman. Responsible for alpha males like surge in performance at one point, and then they fired.
Yup.
The field's gotten kind of spread out, unfortunately, with Ariel's nice save to avoid going into the wall, but it has left us without a lot to really talk about in terms of the race. Just kind of following Caleb Gonzalez, so honestly, just sit back and enjoy watching the master work. We don't get to see a lot of Caleb's driving. You're getting it now.
I think Mike Stuffmeal might have taken, at least $3.50 to just sandbag here.
I don't know. Caleb has had Mike Stockbill's number so far in the GT3.
That's the joke.
And has handled the business effectively. It does look like Simion Nacu is closing the gap to Gerardo Del Vea there for 3rd place, so maybe we'll get some kind of battle there.
Also, every time that Gel banner pops up, it makes me want to go watch Space Dandy. Sup, Space Dandy?
What about the gun ad there? It's up there.
Well, it means it just makes me want to go, rub myself all over my gun cabinet.
Or the Chevrolet ad. Or the.
I think it's hilarious, and I've been giggling to myself a little bit the entire time. That A, does anybody have a Briggs & Stratton engine in any of these cars? And B, is there a single, American car in the race, let alone a Corvette?
Nope.
LOL!
I think this, you know what, this field I think is entirely German outside of the two McLaren.
But I can guarantee you one thing. Everybody in this race is real cheese people.
Is the, how's the C6? Is
Better
it
than
like
C5.
the other old GT3 cars and it can't compete?
You mean the Z06?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm American.
Okay,
The minuscules.
well, I was more referring to the fact that there's a 0 there, actually. It's not terribly competitive, but it's not a complete waste of time if you wanted to, enter it into a race. But,
Gotcha.
No, I mean, there's race rooms at the point where there's definitely, there's old GT3s and then there's new GT3s, and the old ones, kind of rightfully so, are not particularly, in the BOP favorable.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I like the Callaway. I've always enjoyed that car. It handles great. Just not much on straight line speed.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to bring it here, but I mean, for example, Sonoma or Laguna Seca, great idea.
Yeah.
The gap the lead is actually growing. It's up to over 7 seconds now for Caleb Gonzalez over Mike Stock.
Is there a particular racer you could point to as the creature from the Black Laguna Seca?
The Black Laguna Seca. I'm going to go with Simion Nacu on that one.
All right.
He's driving a black car, hence the black. And he did really, really well at Laguna Seca.
There you go. Now all we need is the beast from 2,000 Fathoms.
Mind you, Laguna Seca does have a special place in Zero history, if anyone would like to know the reason of that. It's,
did it involve a dark ritual summoning Yog Sothoth?
I mean, possibly. It is the racetrack where a Dutch driver not named Mike Stockmill won.
Whoa.
Was
it Ramon Deckers?
Mr. Mark Klabzel.
I'm gonna go ahead and doubt that.
It happened.
Is there video evidence?
There is video evidence, actually.
Has it been doctored?
Nope, not in any way.
Did he torpedo literally everybody in the field?
Nope, he just made himself as wide as a wheat harvester and no one could get by him.
Interesting. I don't believe you, but it's interesting.
There may have been some black magic involved, I don't know.
Yog Sothoth, the black goat of the woods and his 1,000 young shall make me 1,000 feet wide and 1,000,000 miles fast.
Caleb Gonzalez, the lead's still growing. It's up to almost 8 seconds, so he's about a second faster a lap than Stockmill. I would not have expected that.
Sorry, I got my HP Lovecraft wrong. It's not Yog Sothoth. That's Shub Niggurath. My bad. My bad, dog. My bad.
Caleb racing out in front, by the way.
It's on that Peruvian marching powder.
Yeah, I you know what? It's weird because I always try to come up with references to real drivers when I'm talking about drivers in ESR. I can't think of one for Caleb. Is there even a Peruvian driver professionally that you can think of, Travis?
I can Google it.
I mean, there's always Google. I'm sure there is somebody. I've just never really come across them.
Hold on, I got this. Okay, Google. Peruvian professional drivers. No.
None. Oh. That's pretty stock. That's pretty stunning.
Eduardo Debos. Something. Nicholas Fuchs. Georgie Koshlin. Probably pronouncing that wrong. Raul Orlandini.
Feel like
Manuel Polar.
I feel like Mr. Koshman may have his family may have immigrated there in the 40s. Just saying.
Do what now?
And yeah, Koshlin's probably the most famous.
What is Koshlin famous?
Gunter. Anybody named Gunter probably showed up. Yeah, 1946.
He ran Formula Ford, ran Formula 3 in the 70s, it appears. A lot. Ran F1 in the 80s.
What team he raced?
Oh,
for?
no, wait. British Formula 1 Championship. I'm assuming... Yeah, that's something different. Okay.
He was on Team Stout Meat Pie.
Whoa, bit of a moment there for Caleb Gonzalez while we dug through Peruvian motorsports history there.
I was going to say, I think he could afford 9 or 10 of those moments in the next entire lap.
I'm sorry, he's British. I don't know why he popped up in Peruvian.
Huh.
Just going for F1 specifically?
Just anything.
Peruvian racing drivers.
Okay, Google. Peruvian F1 drivers.
Peruvian racing drivers.
They got a whole Wikipedia article here.
Yeah, for some reason he's on the Peruvian driver Wikipedia page, but it
could be a born in versus nationality thing, because I mean a number of drivers race under licenses that are not the country they were born in. Specifically, I can think of Eduardo Mortar, good example.
What about Eduardo de Bois?
I believe Nico Rosberg runs. Of course, raced under a German flag, but I think he was born in Finland. So that would be another example.
Okay, so that Nicholas Fuchs is a rally driver.
Rally.
The racing drivers. Okay, apparently he is the only one.
Mike, I have one that proves the rule.
Okay.
Your boy Jörg Koechlin, born Jörg Koechlin von Stein, born in Huacho, Peru, in 1950.
Oh, okay. So he was born in Peru, and he must have raced in Britain. Or moved to Britain.
Under a British license, probably.
Yeah, because it called his home track in his wiki page.
It's the same. It's the same thing to actually use a current F1. The British people keep claiming Alex Albon as one of their own, but he was born in Thailand.
Right.
Which your boy Juan Manuel Polar raced Formula Dodge, Formula Renault 2.0 Mexico, Formula 2.0 UK. Championship, that's all it says. Spanish Formula 3 and Indy Lights, but hasn't there's nothing since 2008.
Do have to throw it out there. I think Ariel Zatoni may have a problem. He's drifted really far behind Wayne Hutchinson, and Mike Magas is getting closer to him by the 10th of a second.
How much did you pay him?
Something is put in enough fuel. I guarantee you.
Could be a fuel problem, could be a damage problem as well.
Maybe he damaged his fuel.
But I think we'll probably get an answer because it's the last lap, and I think the really only interesting thing of note is whether Magas can catch Zatoni or not.
You know, maybe he didn't pit because, well, no, now Magas is catching him again. Maybe it wasn't off.
Magas has been catching him at a steady pace for about the last 6 seconds, though. That's a long off, if that's an off.
Yeah, well, it leveled off at like 5 seconds. And I started to think that maybe Magas went in the pits too, but then he started to close in again.
I love how both of you are referring to Mike in the fucking third person, and I refuse to do so.
Look, there's like 4 Mikes that race with ESR, and there's 2 of them on the track at the moment.
Yeah, but I'm just not going there.
Magas closing it down. It's down to 3.1 seconds. Simion Nacu is closing the gap to Gerardo Del Vea, but I believe this might be a little bit too little too late.
And refer to myself in third person during commentary the entire time.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm not going to start now. It's going to be next episode.
Okay.
Tune in next time.
Next episode.
Where everything's third person. If you're not third person, you get kicked out.
Caleb Gonzalez, who sparked this whole talk about Peruvian race car drivers, is going to take home your victory here at Road America. It's a very un-American podium for Road America.
I feel as though perhaps Mr. Gonzalez may or may not have mixed in some prime Peruvian flake in with the high octane.
Mike Stockmill has taken second position. Simion Nacu looking to try and get a podium. Big day for Simion Nacu. Let's take a moment to shout that out. Paul Riccobene came into today with the chance to seal a title. And instead...
Magas is...
right up.
Oh, it was an off.
It's an off. He's got no front end.
Oh, my God.
Ariel Zatoni with no front end. They're coming into Canada corner.
It's toy.
Magas gets the better run through Canada corner and takes back 7th place. Josiah Jerome is not in this fight in general because he's got no back end.
Good guy.
Whoa, off we go.
Use the track. Use it.
Oh, actually, Josiah must have pitted at some point. He's got a rear wing again.
Mike, third person Magas with the shake and bake. Everybody gets to eat shit up through the chicane and just dies a horrible in a fire with the thing. Henry Guns, go buy one today. You're cheap people.
Caleb Gonzalez is your winner from Mike Stockmill. Gerardo Delveo, Simion Nacu, who takes a big chunk out of Paul Riccobene's championship lead. By the way, Delvea and Nacu still alive heading into the final round at Indianapolis. Joe Racer 5th, Wayne Hutchinson 6th, Mike Magas 7th, Ariel Zatoni lost 7th place on the last lap, dropping to 8th. Josiah Jerome 2 laps down due to some unauthorized modding of his car. And Edward Gonzalez, Eric Friesen, Rick Martel, Richard Higgs, and Paul Riccobene all DNF'd this race. Gonzalez, after a collision with Josiah Jerome. Eric Friesen, of course, collided with the wall, pitted. Looks like they couldn't fix the car. Rick Martel, similar issue. And, of course, Richard Higgs was taken out by Ariel Zatoni early on in the race. And we lost Paul Riccobene basically at the start when his wheel failed. Gentlemen, your thoughts on the race. And do you think Paul Riccobene will come out on top in the championship battle at Indianapolis in the season finale in 2 weeks' time?
I think Riccobene will rickroll yo asses.
Travis, your expert opinion on that?
I'm going back to ACC.
Okay. It's a hell of an expert opinion. We will be back at you with Academy action as well as possibly ACC action this weekend and the Porsche Cup. So it's a big week. It's a busy weekend for ESR.